AMD just punched the headlines in a way that makes both growth investors and headline-hungry traders perk up. Analysts are floating price targets as high as $230. Wall Street expects stronger Q3 results and brighter Q4 guidance. And the company announced a major multi-gigawatt supply pact with OpenAI that includes warrants for up to 160 million AMD shares. The market reacted violently. Shares jumped sharply in pre-market trading and into the session. And now everyone's asking, what happens next if this deal actually delivers? Okay, first, is AMD trading above fair value? Short answer, many models say yes. Several analyst desks and data providers are flagging that AMD is trading above their fair value estimates, with individual price targets spread widely, from more conservative levels up to about $230 in the most bullish notes. That spread shows how much debate there is about AMD's future cash flows. Some analysts price in steady margin expansion and big AI wins, others apply a more cautious stance. Either way, the market is currently valuing not only current operations but also a big chunk of optionality tied to AI infrastructure wins like the OpenAI deal. Think of two real estate appraisers arguing about an apartment block. One sees a new subway stop coming, big upside, the other worries about neighborhood noise. Both can be right. They're just pricing different futures. Why analysts expect a hotter Q3 and better Q4 guidance? Several sell-side firms and data aggregators anticipate AMD will report better-than-expected Q3 results and lift guidance for Q4. The rationale is straightforward: improving server demand for data center CPUs and accelerators, as cloud builders step up purchases for AI workloads, and strong adoption of AMD's newest Turing-class processors and Instinct accelerators, which are moving into more racks and more training clusters. Those two dynamics, more units sold and better product mix, are exactly what analysts model when they pencil in higher quarterly revenue and margin trajectories. Management's earlier guidance, a mid-2025 example, was $8.7b for Q3 in previous guidance cycles, gave the street a framework, and the deal flow plus product ramps are the likely reason many firms expect AMD to beat estimates and raise subsequent guidance. If more data centers sign AMD checks for AI gear, the top line not only grows, the margins can fatten, and that's the secret sauce analysts want. The headline, a 6-gigawatt deal with OpenAI, what that actually means. This is the heart of the market's excitement. AMD announced a multi-year strategic agreement under which OpenAI will commit to purchasing AMD Instinct GPUs to power up to 6 gigawatts of compute across multiple generations of AMD accelerators, starting with a targeted 1 gigawatt rollout in an initial phase. That's an enormous amount of compute, on the scale that only the largest AI builders operate, and it represents guaranteed demand for AMD's high-performance accelerators over several years. If GPUs were light bulbs, this deal is like a city saying, replace every streetlight with your bulbs over the next 5 years. And that's a lot of bulbs. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. The warrant. OpenAI can potentially buy up to 160 million AMD shares. How that works? As part of the pact, AMD granted OpenAI warrants to acquire up to 160 million shares of AMD common stock under specified milestone conditions. The warrants are structured to vest as certain delivery, deployment, and performance milestones are met, so OpenAI only gets the stock option as AMD proves it can deliver the hardware and performance it promised. The warrant terms reported in the filings and press coverage show that the exercise price and vesting are linked to milestones, making this both a commercial and strategic alignment rather than a simple equity grant. Why that matters: alignment and lock-in. The warrants align incentives. OpenAI benefits from AMD doing well and AMD benefits from a long-term purchaser. Potential dilution versus strategic validation. If all warrants vest and are exercised, that's meaningful share issuance. But at the same time it signals that OpenAI is committed to AMD as a long-term supplier, a validation worth market value in its own right. The warrant is like giving a contractor a coupon for future shares that becomes redeemable only when the contractor actually builds the bridge. A way to say, "We'll pay when we see the bridge stand." The market reaction, the wild pre-market spike, and why numbers differ. After the OpenAI announcement, AMD shares rocketed in pre-market trading and then into the session. Different outlets reported slightly different jump percentages depending on the timestamp. Some reported pre-market spikes in the low to mid-20% range, while later intraday numbers showed gains into the 30s. Your 35.7% figure sits in that later, larger move range cited by some outlets. Short version, the precise percent depends on what timestamp you use, but the point is the same. The stock moved a lot, very quickly, reflecting the perceived long-term revenue implications of the OpenAI commitment. Markets tell stories in real time. Early pre-market prints and later session prints can give you different snapshots. The headline is the same: investors rushed in hard. Why a multi-gigawatt customer like OpenAI can soar AMD's revenue. A few mechanics explain the potential revenue upside. Scale of demand: 6 gigawatts of accelerator capacity over multiple generations implies tens of thousands of accelerator cards, lots of HBM memory, interconnects, and system parts, every one of which generates revenue for AMD and its ecosystem. Multi-generation purchasing: OpenAI's commitment across multiple chip generations locks in future product cycles, giving AMD predictable demand and the ability to justify R&D and production investments. Follow-on business: big hyperscaler or AI builder wins attract suppliers, memory makers, packaging vendors, and cloud integrators, who all benefit from the predictable orders and, in turn, help AMD by smoothing supply and enabling higher ASPs. Combine scale, predictability, and follow-on industry activity, and you get a company capable of meaningful year-over-year revenue jumps, which is exactly what multiple bullish analyst models assume when pushing price targets higher. Imagine a chain of stadiums deciding to install your speakers for every venue for the next decade. You're not selling one speaker, you're selling a service and a backlog of future installations. With all these, AMD could hit $1,200 soon. Note this as well. When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, "Who then can be saved?" But Jesus beheld them, and said unto them, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." Then answered Peter and said unto him, "Behold, we have forsaken all, and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?" And Jesus said unto them, "Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me, in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold, and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first." Matthew 19:25-30. If we fully obey the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, and carefully follow all His commandments, He has promised to set us high above all the nations of the earth. Deuteronomy 28. We shall be blessed when we come in and when we go out. I appeal to you to accept God and let Him be your guide, for He will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: "I stayed until the end." Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe, and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful content. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Faith and prayer will do what no power on earth can accomplish. See you in the next video by God's mercy.